Bandersnatch.
Bander what?
Bandersnatch.
Bandersnatch is a unique Black Mirror story created by Charlie Brooker. The viewer gets to decide what happens to the main character in the story. We're given two choices at various intervals throughout the episode. For example, a seemingly insignificant decision begins the interactive journey, deciding what cereal you would like the main character to eat. But there's a myriad sort of timelines and story branches you can go down, which ultimately lead to pathways for the main character to go down. This Netflix original groundbreaking episode of Black Mirror focuses on a young video game coder named Stefan. The story is about him trying to get his first game published in 1984. The game he's designing, Bandersnatch, is a remake from an interactive book where you can decide what your character does in the story.
One of us is jumping. So who's it going to be?
Which is also filled to the brim with Easter eggs for the die-hard Black Mirror superfans. People are reacting to Bandersnatch like it's a new original idea, when in actual fact it has been around since the late 1960s. Kino Ultimat was the world's first interactive movie, made in 1967 and conceived by Radus Kuncera. Kino Ultimat was being screened in 10 different countries, including the UK, and last showing in 2012. At 9 points during the film, the action stops, and a moderator would appear on stage asking the audience to choose between two scenes. Following the audience vote, a chosen scene was played. The black comedy film is a satire of determinism and the idea that human beings control their fate, or that the film is an endorsement of acceptance of the diversity and complexity of life. No matter what choices are made, the end result is the burning building. Choose Your Own Adventure is a series of children's game books where each story is written from a second-person point of view, with the reader assuming the role of the protagonist and making choices that determine the main character's actions and the outcomes for the plot. This was one of the most popular children's series during the 1980s and 1990s, selling more than 250 million copies between 1979 and 1998. Bandersnatch itself sounds kind of familiar. You might have heard of it before. So the name Bandersnatch actually comes from the character created by Lewis Carroll in his novel Through the Looking Glass. It also appears in his poem, The Hunting of the Snark. It's said that the Bandersnatch has a long neck and frumious jaws. It also makes an appearance in the Tim Burton movies. When Bandersnatch released, a lot of people were asking if it was a real game, and the answer is actually, sort of. In the 1980s, a British game developer called Imagine Software actually were developing a game called Bandersnatch, but ultimately it didn't get released because the company folded. The code was eventually bought and completed by a different company, and the game was released under a new name. Black Mirror actually references this old Bandersnatch in a couple of ways. For example, the first day the episode is set on the 9th of July 1984, which is the same day that the real-life Imagine Software folded. Interesting that the height of the success for the Choose Your Own Adventure books is the same era as the Bandersnatch storyline. In recent times, the main interactive scene has of course been computer games, which has led to today's monumental online gaming industry. From your PS4 to your phone, most interactive apps are very similar to choosing your own adventure, named episode chapters or choices. Mostly for girls, but PS4 has made some intense games, for example, The Last of Us, Uncharted 4 and even the new 2018 Spider-Man game to make you feel like you are more involved in the game. Because let's be honest, who wouldn't want to be Spider-Man? We didn't have the right technology back in the 1960s to really push high limits for where the interactive filming could possibly go. But with new technology, iPads, computers, or even games consoles with 3D and 4D VR and 360 mixed with interactive filming, we feel that this will be more real than ever. Kind of like a game, if you will. There are a few obvious aspects to Bandersnatch which I found appealing. The 80s are the new cool, with revivals of old classics such as The Goonies, Beetlejuice and Back to the Future, along with current TV shows such as Stranger Things, which has enhanced the trend to bring back the 80s. Ready Player One displays a prime example where gaming can create a platform for participants to engage in any adventure they choose. Interactive TV shows such as Bandersnatch may begin to bridge the gap between gaming and TV viewing. One of the main attractions of Bandersnatch viewers for the future is the control aspect. The viewer becomes the director, and they can change the plotline accordingly. Ever hear somebody say, "I wonder what would have happened if I'd gone on that trip, or if I'd have not gone on that trip," for example? Be like sliding doors. It's difficult to go back to normal TV viewing once we've been spoiled with this TV godlike power to enhance our entertainment levels. Has Black Mirror opened a door for the future for filmmakers to step through? Time will tell.